So in a number of recent coaching sessions I've conducted recently with supply chain professionals, I get this question asked a lot, that how can we move from an individual contributor level to a managerial level? I recently did a poll on LinkedIn where I asked the same question, and about 50% of the respondents said that it's basically the lack of mentorship and guidance. About 25% said it's lack of confidence, and there was another 25% who said that it's basically the lack of focus on leadership skills in the companies. Now, all these reasons are valid, but the good news is that since you are watching this video, I will be covering with you 3 simple things you can do starting today to be on the path to become a manager in your company in a supply chain role. My name is Jamil Hai, and I've been working in supply chain management positions across South Asia, Middle East, and North America for the last 2 decades. And my mission is to help you build real life skills for your job and career that they don't teach you in college. And if you are preparing for your next job interview in supply chain, or looking for some career guidance on your career path, or you are trying to move from one country to another, you can actually book a coaching session with me by clicking on the link on my profile. First thing you should do if you want to become a manager in your company is try to understand the profit and loss statement of your organization, or the P&L. Now, some of you might be listening to this and you might be questioning, I work in supply chain, why do I need to know the P&L of the company? Well, you have to, because if you want to become a manager at any level in your organization, whether it's a junior manager, middle level manager, or a senior manager, you must have an understanding of how this company works. And a P&L statement is the best way to understand this, because you need to know what is the profit of the company, what are the cost lines of the company, what are the expense lines of the company, and having that holistic understanding on that P&L statement will make you understand, okay, this is where we are spending the money, this is where we are making the money, and so on. And that overall perspective is extremely important for you to build your business acumen. I talk to a lot of supply chain people who don't have this, and they struggle in their career, especially when they get to a manager level, or they're trying to get to a manager level. So as an example, I've known people who have a very good understanding, and they work in logistics, and they have a great understanding about every single line item of their logistics cost. So you ask them any question about their LCC, or the logistics cost conversion, and they will give you an answer like that. But when you ask them, okay, what is your total LCC as a percentage of your net sales? They will start getting confused, and they will say, we don't know, and we'll have to find out. Why? Because that's the number one question you need to ask yourself, that, okay, my total logistics budget, how does it fit into the total P&L of the organization? And that business acumen will be your first step towards becoming a manager in your company. The second thing you need to do in order to become a manager is build these 3 most critical people management skills. These 3 are developing others, conflict management, and comfort around higher management. Let me explain this one by one. The first one is developing others. Now, you're not a manager, so there are no people reporting to you. But whenever there is a new person joining the organization, tell your line manager that you would like to onboard this person. You would like to train this person, because that will show your intent to develop people. And that is something which all the senior managers look in potential managers. So try to show your interest to develop others, coach others, and train them, because this will tell your senior leadership that, okay, this person is good at developing talent. And that is very, very important for you to become a successful manager, because managers don't do the work themselves, right? They get the work out of other people, but they can only do that if they have a competent team. And a big part of building a competent team is to hire and develop people and make sure that they are trained to do those jobs, which will make you eventually successful as a manager, and you will help your company deliver the results they are looking for. The second most important people skill is conflict management. This is a very critical skill, and I've made a separate video on conflict management itself, which you can watch by clicking over here. And conflict management is important because as a manager, you will have a lot of conflicts. So you need to train that muscle. And how do you do that? Even if you are an individual contributor, and whenever you have a conflict with a peer, don't try to take that conflict right away to your boss, right? Try to manage that conflict at your level, have a discussion, try to come up with a common ground, all the things which I've covered in the other videos. So I'm not going to go into the details of how to do conflict management, but this is a very important skill you should work from today if you want to become a manager in your organization. The third most important skill is build comfort around higher management. You should be very comfortable to work with your senior directors, vice presidents, and so on. So anytime there is an opportunity for you to present to those people or answer questions or interact with them, try to grab that, because the more airtime you will have with your senior managers, the higher your chances are to get promoted. Because in a lot of companies, that senior level of management is most likely a part of the decision-making process whenever they are promoting someone, especially when someone is moving from an individual contributor to a manager role. So people should know you. Those people should know you very well, and they should know you in a very good light. So I'm not trying to suggest that you should always be nice to them and all of that stuff. Sometimes you may have to, manage conflicts with those people as well. But at the same time, you need to build a strong reputation with those people. And that can only happen if you interact with them. If you are hiding in the corner office or in the virtual world, if you are someone who never shows up on call, then you're someone who is always like scared to present to more senior managers, you will never get that visibility which is required for you to get promoted. So try to grab opportunities where you are getting the airtime with your vice president or with your director or whoever is the senior most manager in the company or that layer of managers or leaders, because that will get you the required reputation with those senior managers and leaders. And when the time comes for your promotion and those discussions are going on that, this person X is really good, he is good at developing people, he's good at conflict management. And by the way, we have seen him so many times, he comes and presents to us. So a very strong candidate. So promotions will become very easy if you do this. And the last and perhaps the most important thing you need to do is show your intent to become a manager. So how do you do that? In your one-to-ones with your line manager, try to make sure that you are expressing that desire that, okay, I want to be in this position or in some other position. Of course, I'm not suggesting that you offend your manager, but make that intention very clear that you want to be in one of those managerial positions in the future, so that when that manager is talking to his other managerial peers or with your one level up director or whoever the more senior person in the organization is, you can be seen as a potential talent. And of course, that has to be backed up by all the other skills that I covered, right? You can't just have the intention and don't have any substance. So of course, you need to work on the first two things I covered, but at the same time, be very intentional about communicating that you want to be at a higher level. Sometimes people, for some reason, are scared to communicate this upfront. And the more clarity you give to your senior leadership about where you want to go, the easier it will be for you to achieve it. Another way of showing your intent to be a manager is try to get constant feedback about your performance. So now that your manager knows that you want to be a manager someday as well, try to ask that person that, okay, how is my performance? Where do I lack? Or what skills do I need to develop in order to be in the management of this organization in the future as well? So in most cases, you will get some very honest feedback. Okay, you lack here, or you need to work on this area, and this is your strength, this is your weakness. So try to work on those things so that when the time comes, you are ready and there are no debates about your promotion. And the last way to show intent is whenever there is a managerial position opening up in the organization, try to apply for it. Try to find out. Now, of course, every company's job application process is different internally. In some companies, it's always posted externally and internally. In some organizations, it's only posted internally. So whatever is the dynamics of your organization, try to find that out. But if you see a role where you think that, oh, I want that role, or, I would imagine myself to be in that role, maybe if not now, in a future state, try to find out, okay, can I apply for this role? Because even if you will not get the job, you will get some very good feedback from the interviewing process that, okay, you came very strong in this area, but you were weak in that area. So you can keep trying. In a lot of, even my personal example is that whenever I got internal promotions in my company, I applied for maybe 2 or 3 jobs unsuccessfully before I finally got the job that I wanted. And that's absolutely fine, right? Because failure is a part of the success journey. You will fail a few times, but then eventually you will succeed. So whenever a job opening comes up, try to apply for it or show your curiosity for it, because that's another fantastic way of showing intent. So I hope you found this video helpful. I've also made videos on job interview question and answers for demand managers and supply planners, which you can watch by clicking over here. Keep watching.